Kody Brown, star of Sister Wives, is apparently not liked by everyone. Fans are aware that Kody is sometimes referred to as TLC's biggest villain. He is quite contentious, even if he is occasionally called a villain. According to two of his Special Forces co-stars, he was the most controversial recruit during Season 4. Ravi Patel was introduced by host Giudice in a recent episode of the Casual Chaos podcast. In the podcast, the two also talked about Kody Brown. On the show, Gia and Bran at Chicken-Free La Paglia hinted that they both had problems with Brown. When Brianna disclosed that she is a podcaster, Kody was observed making fun of her in a recent episode of the Fox reality show. However, why did Gia and Ravi criticize Brown for being the show's most contentious character? Did these two say anything else? For further information, continue reading. Because of his polygamous marriage, Sister Wives star Kody Brown has been presented differently on the Special Forces episode. As part of a hard challenge in one episode, each contender had to walk to a ladder in order to cross from one building to another. But Kody's situation wasn't made any easier by the professors on the directing staff. "Imagine it is one of your wives over here," one of them shouted at Brown. Kody talked candidly about going through a lot of personal struggles before to the show's premiere. He also mentioned the one occasion when his muscles failed. Brown went on to say that although he had sand in his hands, everyone was meant to swing across monkey bars. He lacked the strength to finish the assignment and was unable to climb the monkey bars. Kody also acknowledged that in order to relieve pressure from the producers, he would pretend to wheeze on the show. Ravi Patel was invited by Giudice to appear on a recent episode of the Casual Chaos podcast. On the podcast, the two talked about Kody Brown, star of Sister Wives. Gia started off by discussing Brown's physical attributes. Ravi acknowledged that Kody's speed was indeed remarkable. He did admit, though, that first he believed Brown was under the influence of something. "He was racing up and down the hill, and I assumed he must be on amphetamines," he added. "Kody was zipping past him, almost like a cartoon," Patel added. He claimed to have a strong sense that something was off. Since there seemed to be no other way for Kody to complete the task so quickly, he assumed that he was high on meth. He went on to say he was flying by professional athletes. The 18-year-old father was unique, according to Ravi, and he kept that enthusiasm throughout the competition. Both were greatly impressed by his physical condition, but they were perplexed by his personality. Ravi went on to say that Kody had the strangest background and was the most fascinating character on the show. "He's a crazy guy," Patel said. Gia had earlier claimed that Kody was quite compassionate on the show. She now acknowledged that he is a highly controversial figure as well. The two also mentioned that his personal life may be the cause of some of his characteristics. Gia remarked, "He kind of misses having that father role. Services for viewing TV online, he most likely only lives with one of his children," she said, "and it's obvious he misses them all." According to Ravi, Kody is attempting to emotionally and socially remake himself, he went on, "in a way that I don't know if he's given the time before." Kody disclosed a few days ago that he wishes to mend his ties with his elder children. The outcomes of collisions across reality TV worlds are frequently surprising, explosive, and extremely entertaining. When Sister Wives actress Kody Brown joined the cast of Special Forces, World's Toughest Test, the gripping Fox reality series that deprives celebrities of their comfort and celebrity by putting them through endurance tests akin to those in the military, fans received just that. However, two of his fellow recruits this season, actor-comedian Ravi Patel and Giudice from The Real Housewives of New Jersey, couldn't resist calling Kody the most controversial castmate on set. And to be honest, it's difficult to argue with them after learning what transpired behind the scenes. Fans were already excited about Special Forces Season 5's casting. The lineup for this season featured a diverse range of personalities, including Kody Brown, the polygamous patriarch whose turbulent relationships have kept Sister Wives on the air for almost 15 years, Ravi Patel, who is renowned for his charm and grounded sense of humor, and Giudice, who is making her solo reality debut away from the shadow of her mother Teresa. Kody made an impression as soon as he stepped foot on the Jordanian desert training site. He instantly brought that distinctive Brown family energy, the same blend of audacity, defensiveness, and sporadic charm that made him both fascinating and frustrating to watch on Sister Wives. He wore his trademark long curls under a military-issued cap and had an attitude that swung between confident and defiant. In a later post-production interview, Ravi quipped, "I thought the producers had made a mistake when Kody walked in. I mean, will this guy actually make it through this? As it happens, he may live, but first he will quarrel with the drill sergeant over how to proceed. Dealing with prominent figures is nothing new to Giudice, who grew up in the high-drama Real Housewives universe. However, it seems like Kody Brown presented a completely different kind of difficulty. The trainees had to carry 50-pound packs across a muddy obstacle course as part of one of the early challenges. According to reports, Kody objected to the unfair distribution of the packs, claiming that men and women ought to bear separate loads. Gia wasn't happy about that. According to a production insider, Gia was quick to speak up. "Stop acting like you're doing us a favor if we're all here to be equals," she said to Kody. It became tense. Gia chuckled, but not without frustration, in his subsequent confessional video. "He's exhausting but weirdly captivating. Even when you want to turn away, you can't. One minute he is shouting about devotion or leadership, and the next he is making a joke about his hair's ability to withstand any temperature." Nevertheless, Gia acknowledged that she appreciated his perseverance in spite of their disagreements. "He doesn't stop talking, even if he talks a lot. That is not what I anticipated." Known for his laid-back manner, Ravi Patel made an effort to be impartial. However, even he was unable to ignore Kody's alpha energy. During a promotional interview, Ravi stated, "Every group task turned into his sister wives' therapy session." He would tie every directive and every setback to his prior experience as a family leader. For example, he says, "This reminds me of when Christine left me, as we crawl beneath barbed wire." What even do you say about that, really? Kody allegedly questioned one of the military instructors about their leadership style at one time. "I understand leadership. I've managed multiple households," he said to the staff sergeant. "This isn't a family meeting," the sergeant said, simply staring at him. Kody gained the unofficial moniker Captain Polygamy as a result of the exchange, which swiftly became one of the most talked-about moments among the cast and crew this season. Producers knew exactly what they were doing behind the scenes. Kody Brown's casting was a calculated decision rather than an accident. Kody's name came up early in casting because he represents a type of reality TV drama that's raw and unpredictable, a production source revealed. People talk about him whether they like him or not, and that's gold for ratings. However, even they were surprised by the amount of stress he would cause in the group. The source went on to say, "He's not physically weak. In challenges, he was competitive. But on an emotional level, people were exhausted by him." Every night became a discussion about manhood, faith, or family. Gia and Ravi were frequently the referees or peacekeepers. The cast once had to finish an assignment in which they were immersed in icy water on a frosty night. When Kody initially said, "I've been through worse with 4 wives," there was allegedly a mix of eye rolls and laughing. Fans went crazy when Fox unveiled the teaser, which showed Kody screaming at a drill sergeant. Memes, tweets, and Reddit threads analyzing his every action flooded social media. "Kody Brown arguing with military instructors is peak reality TV," one fan commented. "Everywhere he goes, man believes he is in control." Giudice calling him controversial is the understatement of the year, said another commenter. "He is chaos manifested as a person." To watch how Kody would respond in a situation when his typical control and ego didn't matter. Some Sister Wives fans even tuned in out of pure curiosity. Not good at first, spoiler alert, but something changed in the middle of the season. Kody reportedly collapsed following a demanding endurance test that asked the recruits to travel 12 miles while carrying sandbags. Seated on the mud and clearly upset, he was captured on camera stating, "I thought I knew what strength was. As it happens, I've been mistaken for bravery." His other recruits showed him an unusual measure of sympathy during that vulnerable period. In a confessional, Gia even stated, "I saw the man, not the TV character, for the first time. And to be honest, it caused me to reconsider him. He has layers. Human, yet nonetheless contentious and annoying. He's clearly processing a lot." Kody's storyline assumed an unexpectedly redemptive tone by the last episodes. He became a better team player, began to listen more, and even helped Gia get through one of the last obstacle tests when she was on the verge of giving up. "Don't let your last name dictate your boundaries," I advised her. In the end, Kody joked, and she looked at me like I just turned into Yoda. Following the conclusion of the show, Gia and Ravi both gave some thought to their experiences with Special Forces, including, yes, Kody Brown's presence. When asked which castmate was the most contentious, Gia laughed and said, "Easy," during a joint press junket. "Brown Kody. Definitely. He has the ability to transform any peaceful circumstance into an existential discussion. He's like a walking TED talk you didn't sign up for, Ravi said, nodding. However, he is genuine in his own way. That's just the guy. He's not acting, and I'd admire that in a way. On a surprisingly reflective note, Gia said, he's controversial because he's unapologetically himself, even if it gets him into problems or irritates others. Perhaps those who don't edit themselves to fit in are what reality TV occasionally lacks. Naturally, Kody had the last say. He emphasized his notoriety even more in a post-show interview. I am aware that I am perceived as controversial, he stated. However, truth is not opposed by disagreement. I didn't come here to win America over. I came here to test myself. He continued by saying that Special Forces made him realize how important humility is and that the experience made him confront the person he has become since his multiple marriages ended. Everything was taken away, including the wives, the cameras, and the comfort. Me and my boundaries alone. Perhaps that was what I required. Although opinions among fans are still split, some believe this to be the first time Kody has truly reflected on himself in a long time. Some referred to it as yet another martyrdom performance. Although controversy is the lifeblood of reality TV, it occasionally offers something more profound. The conversations between Ravi, Patel, Giudice, and Kody Brown on Special Forces were more than simply amusing TV. They turned into a sort of social experiment. What happens when pain, ego, and widely disparate forms of fame mix under intense pressure? Kody was intense. Gia contributed tenacity. Ravi provided foundation and comedy. Even when it became uncomfortable, viewers were unable to turn away from the dynamic they generated together. Perhaps this explains why, in spite of the mayhem, viewers are describing this season as one of the most captivating to yet. For all of them, there were real moments of progress beneath the yelling and the eye rolls. It was acknowledged by Gia and Ravi at the end of Special Forces, world's toughest test, that they had misjudged Kody Brown. Even though he remains the most controversial castmate they have ever met, he made an impression that neither of them will soon forget. He is divisive. However, he also serves as evidence that no one's tale is ever truly told. You'd be surprised by even the loudest folks. One thing is certain, though. Kody Brown's adventure on reality TV is far from over. Kody keeps doing what he does best, which is to make sure that everyone is still watching, whether he is arguing on Sister Wives, battling with drill sergeants about leadership, or reinventing himself one obstacle at a time. Because controversy follows him everywhere, whether you like him or not.